Good everyone, welcome to this video. Today we have a review of the XF5F. Those of you that may remember, I got this vehicle during the 10 Rare Vehicles event, and I said I would actually review these vehicles. Terribly sorry for the delay on that, but of course, we've had other things to review and other things to work on, so they've kind of been pushed back as more important reviews had to be done. And well, now I'm finally getting around to them. So you'll be having two videos today, and over the next coming days, of course, you'll have reviews, of course. But they'll be in no particular order. I know I said I'd do them in nation order, but of course I'm starting you off technically in nation order. And then, of course, we're going to be going through with a Russian aircraft, then back to the M8 LAC, and things like that. So that's how we're going to do it. Anyway, now that we've skipped that part, let's get into the actual part of the review, which is of course talking about the aircraft and how it is. And I must admit, this aircraft was a pleasant surprise when I got it. I'd always been told it was like a baby XP50 because a lot of people know I enjoy the XP50, even though I don't play that thing much anymore. I don't remember last time I took the XP50 out. It's been that long. I just lost interest in it, to be honest, because it felt like I was kicking puppies all the time. But this thing was definitely a bit of a rejoice, but also it taught me a little bit more about just overall the way it feels. And this thing feels more responsive than the XP50, which is nice. But of course, it comes with a couple of caveats. One of those caveats being the low BR, and of course well, I say the low BR is a caveat. It can actually bite it in the arse, and I'll explain that later. But we'll of course talk about the main armament first. So we get two 30 caliber Browning machine guns. This should be pretty familiar to the low tier players of USA. And we also get two 12.7mm Brownings. Now that's all well and good. And considering this is the lowest BR rank 3 aircraft, which I don't know why it's still rank 3, but we'll gloss over that. Surely this thing doesn't cost that much because you tend to see these quite a lot. No, it does cost a lot. It's just the 10 Rare Vehicles event gave this thing out. This vehicle, at the lowest starting price of 199.97 Gaijin coin and all the way up to 269.97 Gaijin coin, is quite expensive, and I don't recommend purchasing it unless the price goes down. As you'll see in the gameplay though, this thing is very consistent, and of course the guns can be a little bit weak at times, as you'll see against DB7s. But you can still do a lot of work with this aircraft, and that's what really lets it be good, to be honest. It's never been a bad aircraft. Sure, the engine overheating can be a bit of a problem, so you will have to manage that, and you might even see that part in the gameplay as I overheat on the way back to the airfield. But it's still pretty consistent. So of course, the engines are two Wright Cyclone R1820-40s. These have 1200 horsepower, and of course this aircraft does not feature WEP, same with the XP50. So it's got a good bit of power and it handles pretty well. Now, of course, when it comes to higher speeds, the rudder and the elevators, as well as the roll, do tend to compress a lot more, especially the rudder and the tail. The ailerons tend to keep pretty well until around 550, 600 kilometers an hour. But of course, I use miles an hour because that's just what I prefer, and plus it's what I'm used to on a daily basis. But the simple fact is this thing does handle really well. It doesn't get many down tiers, but when it does, this thing really can do a lot of work. And compare it to another vehicle from this event, the Lag 323, this thing beats it in pretty much every metric. Of course, the one downside of this is you do not get to carry bombs, same with the XP50, even though the XP50 could actually carry bombs IRL, but the last thing I want to see is tanker trash XP50s. Because trust me, if I saw XP50 strapping £100 bombs to it, I'd be rather embarrassed, but that's just what it is. For your belts, I recommend the 7.62s being set to stealth. These are not very good guns, but of course, the fact is that you want to be hit with the 50s mainly, so that's why I'm recommending to set these to stealth so you don't get confused. Once you get used to it, you could maybe go to universal and then you could just anticipate where the 50 cals are going to go. But if you're like me, I prefer having it as stealth just because it's more comfortable for me. And then, of course, I can see where my 12.7s are going. This I recommend as universal because, well, it's mid-war belts. There's really no bad belt other than tracers. And, well, this is pretty consistent, and it does do a lot of damage, and you'll see even sets fires rather nicely. But if you're hitting the fuselage of things like DB7s, don't expect to be one-shotting unless you aim for the pilot specifically. On something like a DB7, you're going to want to aim for the engines, which is something that you'll see me doing in this match. But of course, against some of the more better aircraft, this thing can be a little bit more, shall we say, disadvantaged. But on the plus side is if you play this vehicle long enough, you get this really nice camouflage, which I believe is inspired by a comic book or a TV show of some kind. I don't remember what it is, like, fully. But this is the standard camouflage. I just think this thing looks like a clown car if it does have that. So I put this one on because it looks more nice for the aircraft. But overall, I don't think this is a bad plane. As you'll see in the gameplay though, I am absolutely terrified of Yak-1Bs because that thing is a hard counter to this thing. So be aware of Yak-1Bs and BF-109E4s because they are very dangerous. But otherwise, you should be able to compete with nearly all aircraft around this BR to some extent. Anyway, I'm going to hand you over to the gameplay now. I hope you enjoy seeing DB7s get slapped, as well as a bunch of other dangerous aircraft being slapped as well, and you'll get to see just how snappy this thing can be in manoeuvres sometimes. But anyway, I'm going to hand you over to the gameplay now. It's just me in this match, and I will see you all on the next one. Well, hello there, Mr. DB7. I'm probably not going to be able to kill you with these guns, but I will certainly give it a go. Although, don't worry, I have a King Cobra backing me up. So even if I don't, you're defo dead. Got a nice hit. And a crit, and also got a Corsair backing me up here. That's helpful. I love how its gun is shooting at me. I'm not the important target. Might want to focus on the, I don't know, the P63? Yeah, you didn't focus on that, my friend. He did damage my oil a little bit, but it's nothing to be concerned about for now. I'm going to leave those guys to handle that Yak-1. I'm going to make my way down because we've got a few Russian aircraft and we've got a Frenchy boy down here. Oh, we got some FUs in the chat already. Off to a wonderful start. I'm going to go for the Chaika first because that is very dangerous. I don't want to leave that alive. There we go. These guns can be very 50-50, but they are very good once you get them on target. Unless it's a tanky boy like a DB7. P63 is going next, I don't care what anyone says. There we go. Nice fire. Probably going to get stolen by the Chaika, but... oh, hello. I'm just going to do some funky aerobatic maneuvers with this thing, because this thing can pretty much do that. It's got a very good rudder. There goes the MS. I'm not going to steal the kill, of course, because it's on fire. I don't do that. Yeah, I'm coming, buddy. Don't worry. There goes him. MS is down. Both fighters there. Yak-1's still high. Still got a bit of life left in the engine, but he doesn't. So we've got no Corsair backup. Next target's going to be the Yak-7, which is quite dangerous to us. Nope. Nope. Should have been about the rudder. It snaps so well. I mean, I knew that before taking this thing out, because obviously I've already got the mark of distinction on this thing. Holy crap. Alright, that's one way to deal with it. I think now that the main bulk is gone, though, I don't think they're going to be coming down. And obviously I'm leaking oil in that one engine, so... this thing can fly on one engine, but not dogfight on one engine. I think I'm going to do exactly what these guys are doing, an RTB, because, well, I need to get this engine fixed anyway. And I don't think they're going to be coming out for a little bit. Well, I'll see you all in a moment. Well, welcome back. I'm less than a minute off the runway, and I'm boxed in. A couple of DB7s and a Yak-1B that just killed one of our fighters. Well, might as well try and thin the herd, I guess. I'll take it. It's a crit. I'll at least get an assist. I'm extremely concerned about that Yak-1B, because that is pretty much this thing's counter. Climbs just as well as you, dives just as well as you, and outturns you completely. That's him on fire, but he has EFS, so he'll just put that out. Point proven. Trying to line up that other engine. There we go. That's him gone. But now we've got the Yak-1B to deal with, and that thing terrifies me. Not only is that thing pretty quick, turns very well, climbs very well. I mean, the guns are a bit 50-50, but that's the same with all Russian aircraft at the minute. Dude, might want to maneuver. No, just gonna sit there like a fish. Alright. He's not going to be bothered about the bomber. He's going to focus on me now. He's got some hits in on the 111, but there's not much I can do about this Yak-1. And that's a bow. I really don't want to deal with a bow fighter right now. I mean, I can easily kill a bow fighter, but I can't do anything to that Yak. Like, at all. So, I'm going to try and take this opportunity to take out the bow fighter, and hopefully he'll be distracted by the 111. And I don't mean the bow fighter, I mean the Yak. There we go. Yak's, well, that's him gone. The problem is now, is the Yak's on my ass. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to engage the MiG. That's some horrible shooting, Joe. You know you can do better than that. And obviously I'm not going to turn fight the Yak-1B. I'm going to gladly turn fight this MiG though, because I beat it. There goes the MiG. So it's just him and a unknown aircraft who has no points. Yeah, this Yak terrifies me, I'm not going to lie, because as I said, he turns better than me, he climbs just as well as me, he dives just as well as me. And yeah, I'd rather not deal with him. But we have got an ace, so that's at least something to think about. Of course, we have to try and deal with this Yak-1B, and he seems to be a pretty good pilot. He's handled himself in a 2v1 earlier. So I'm fairly certain he'll handle himself in a 3v1. But I'm not going to stick up for him there. That's what he wants me to do. And I'm not going to fall to his tricks. Yeah, he's on me now, which is annoying, especially when the rudder's being a bit stiff. Saw that coming a mile away, son. And now you've just cocked up. Now down to the 30 cal now. I don't have the power to keep up with him here. And now he's going to perform an excellent reversal. Oh, that was close. That was close. Kind of clenched my butt cheeks there, I'm not going to lie. But he's overcommitting to me, and that's what got him killed. So I just saw there 0.144 of a ton. Bingo, I see it. I don't know if you guys did, so I'll quickly zoom in. Right on my cursor is where he is. So yeah, we're going to head over there now. That Newport guy was a pretty good player, but he definitely should not have done what he did there. He definitely overextended, but, I mean, we all make mistakes. I think he just saw me as the high priority. Because the XF5F is very good, but it's not going to be a Yak-1B. But that's why I wanted him to basically go for me, and then I can go, oh, you know what? I'm going to use this to my advantage. I'm going to bait you down, so that way the Corsair or the 109 can kill you. Because I know I can't beat you in a 1 versus 1. And here comes the head-on, which the Corsair wins, and there we go, that's the game. Well, he kind of won it, but, you know, Sacrifices have to be made. And well, technically, he's not dead. He survived the match. We both got an ace. Nice. But that just proves how good this thing is. Like, it can do a lot of work. But of course, you have to consider that it's not going to be everything. And that can be the same for every aircraft. But if you run into anything like a Yak-1B or a well-flown BF-109, you are going to struggle. But against the majority of aircraft, this thing will do just fine.